Hello, and thank you for joining my adventure. This week we searched for a panel of petroglyphs and a hilltop ruin that I found on Google Earth. Other ruins in the area have been dated to 800 to 1400 years ago and thought to be built by the ancient Puebloan peoples. These people thrived for about 600 years in the high desert of Arizona and then mysteriously vanished. What happened to them? Where did they go? These questions and more go unanswered even today. So sit back and join me while I try to uncover some of these people's secrets. I hope you enjoy the adventure. And there's a full century plant. It's part of the agave family. This one here is very mature, and at some point, either this season or in the next couple seasons, this will put out a long woody post out of the center, and it will have seed pods and babies that will fall off and reseed. And when that happens, it will die. Good morning. Welcome to another high desert adventure here in Arizona. This morning I'm out looking for some petroglyphs and a fort or a hilltop ruin that I found on Google Earth. I'm hoping that it's in good shape and it's actually a ruin. Well, I'll see you at the top. So this is a known site and a protected site, obviously. It's in a national forest and it's been well used and well entered. I found a big old water bottle I'll be pulling out of here. So this is a neat place. This rock split and slid off, making this awesome cave. You can see, I'm not sure how old this smoke is. It's at least as old as 2005, because Carrie scratched her name in here in, 2015. So thank you, Carrie, for dating this cave. But the cool part here is up above, and I'll go up above right now and show you what I'm talking about. So you see the cave down below, but as we move up towards this rock, look at all this rock art. I'm gonna stay down near the bottom so I don't walk on these, but I hope these are coming out because this is beautiful rock art. This circle with a squiggle must be a river. Man standing on something. A lot of these are faded out because of the position the rock is in. It's odd because I don't think I've seen many that have been almost flat so the sun and the rain can beat down on them. Here's our old friend, the concentric circle. Oh, look. Looks like a set of Ray-Ban sunglasses. Now some of these things will come out on the camera and I'll be able to see them better, and some will not. I am quite certain there's a tarantula right there. There's that cross that we see so often. Some sort of lizard, I think. These are amazing. There's another cross. Another cross. They're all over the place. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just below where those petroglyphs were, and I was just scouting around. There is a piece of pottery right there. That's an old piece of pottery. Let's see if it's got any markings or anything on it. It's red on this side. No, just natural on this side. It's sort of a gray color. I don't see any markings. It's wet, so there might be markings if it was to dry off, but anyways, that's very cool right there. All right, that's proof of occupation. Excellent. Thank goodness for game trails. This is steep, my friends. Alright, I've sort of broke into a clearing and I can see the top, but I can't see any walls, and that's a little concerning. So hopefully it's up there. We're gonna find out in just about a minute. These are manzanita bushes. I think they grow in the manzanita trees, but I don't see any big trees around. But you can actually see it's getting ready to break into bloom. It's the beginning of March. It's the beginning of real springtime in the high desert. Things are starting to come alive. Right, so these are stacked. These are stacked rocks, but not at all what I was expecting. So I think there's a little bit more of the hill over here. So hopefully this isn't a wash. If it is, we'll try to find something else. But at least we saw the petroglyphs down below, which were fantastic. I love that panel. I've visited it a couple times, but every time I see it, I'm in awe. So I'm gonna continue over to the other side of this flat section, and hopefully the fort or a hilltop ruin is over there. If not, well, I'll catch you in a while. Okay, so there's definitely right in here rectangle of rocks, and then right over here there's another rectangle of rocks, small rocks but still rocks. So definitely there was some sort of shelter or building right here and right over there, and I see another one over here that I'll kind of go over that way. Oh, these prickly thorn bushes are horrible. There's no leaves on them, they look totally dead, but they're like walking beside a porcupine. Okay, so this is definitely not natural right here. There's definitely a wall here. So, and I think I see another wall up there, and here's another one over here. So I'm gonna go up here and, oh wow, I'll go around the front side. I think it's the front, what I'm gonna call the front. It's the south side. And we're right on the peak of this little hill, and this is definitely a ruin that runs around the side and runs that way. That's nice, that's nice. Oh, wow. Look at that rock work. This is not what I saw on Google Earth. This is definitely not what I saw. What I saw on Google Earth is I can actually see the wall. Actually, there's a wall way up there. That's what I saw on Google Earth. This is like a little bonus. This is fantastic. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about these pine cones. So these pine cones open up, and you see these little pods, we'll say, or little W shapes. Well, if you look at this one, there's some little nuts in there, and those are pine nuts right there. So these pine nuts are the same ones that you would find in a store. Pine nuts, they come out of pine cones. And if we look below, there's pine nuts down here. Now there's also deer poop as well. So probably the deer are eating these, the mule deer. I mean, there's some right there. What I wanted to talk about was the Native Americans would have harvested these, and then they would have ground them up using a mono and a matot, and they would have ground them up or eaten them just plain. So this is very important, and these are all native to this area. Now, when you get close to a ruin and you find a lot of these, they could have been cultivated. So these could have been cultivated on this hillside and used by the Native Americans for a food source. That's very exciting. So anyways, just think about that, pine nuts, just like we have in the grocery store. I don't know if you can see it in this picture, but let's see if I can get down there. Oh boy, oh, I'm sore today. Can you see it right there? I think that is, oh boy. Wow, it's beauty. It's small. See how small it is? Both the front and the back are broken off. I don't see them anywhere else, but that's pretty cool. Put that right back there. Wow, that's exciting. I don't find very many of those around here. Oh, wow. I wish it was complete. Then you'd have a real treat. So now we're approaching the main ruin. I'm sort of skirting around the outside to see what I can find before trying to find the entrance. Got some pretty good walls. They've fallen down a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look at this really nice big healthy wall here. And it kind of starts over at those big boulders, those big granite boulders. Let's head over there. Yeah, it's a nice wall. Sort of ends right here in these boulders, but I would expect if this was a defensive wall, they wouldn't have left these boulders wide open like this. Oh, I can see another wall on the other side. Let me work my way down. Okay, I'm working my way through these boulders. There's a cave in there. There's another wall there. So they were building a defensive wall all around this area. These boulders were part of it. This was obviously all walled in for defensive purposes. It's a natural wall of boulders here, all the way around this side. In retrospect, when I looked at the main wall that ran from the ruin down to these boulders, that was a very good defensive tactic. And then it forced the enemies to actually go through this labyrinth in these boulders, and it allowed them to actually have several opportunities to attack their enemies before they made it to the main ruin. I wouldn't have wanted to be approaching through that down below. You'd be a sitting duck. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. This looks like it could have been a secondary wall of defense, maybe. Oh. Here's another wall. Oh, wow. This wall. So they went through all of these boulders and they found, oh, this might have been a dwelling, actually. Small dwelling, but it might have been. They went all the way through around these boulders and they shored it all up for defense. Wow. They were definitely afraid of something. Now, I wonder if I can get out of here. So make sure you let me know in the comments if you see any petroglyphs or any artifacts, because I'm trying not to fall off the side of this mountain, so that is a trick in itself. So if you see something, make sure you write it. Okay, now we're going in. Going inside. So there's a defensive wall that runs all the way across there and down around that way. The defensive wall going up this way. Let's start in the northwestern corner, which is over here. This is above, so to my left over here is the entrance. So here is a, well, it looks like it was a room. So three to 4 foot wide walls. Nice square room. The walls are probably still 5.5 feet tall, I would say, right here. So 5.5 feet tall. Here you can see how the wall was built. Large stones on the outside, packed with small, in this case almost like a shale, like crushed up small tiny rocks. Then there's a side wall. This could have had a roof on it. Okay, and then we come out here with another large wall that runs around. So this right here is one very large central room, and then there's that smaller room off to the side, probably 10 feet by 10 feet, I would say. Maybe a little larger. Now I'm in another room that is probably 6 feet by maybe 30, and it runs around. It runs over there. Hopefully you can see it through the brush. Kind of runs at an angle, and then it runs back. So it's about 6 by 30 and kind of balloons out on that side. A lot of stones on the floor, so that would lead me to believe it had some sort of structure, some sort of roof. They're flat stones. So I'm going to try to climb up on top here of this natural ledge, so I can show you this room over here. This small little room here, probably 8 by 8. And then it leads into this other room over here. And that room is probably 10 by 20, I think. Okay, and then this room over here, which I'm not going to be able to get down inside, there's just too much brush in there, is probably 15 by 10, I'm going to say. So all pretty good sized rooms. There is signs of quite a few people being in here, so there's not a lot of pottery shards, because most people that find them just take them. So I'm gonna reach in here because I think that's a, oh, I don't know, I guess that's not pottery. I thought that was a pottery shard, but it's not. But there is remnants of what might be mortar down there. So these could have been mortared together at one point. I think that looks like mortar to me. It's not stone. It's too light and crumbly to be stone. So I'm thinking this is mortar. There's little pieces of it all around. So anyways, this was either a defensive spot or could have been a religious, ceremonious type of spot. It could have been dwellings also. I'm not saying it's not dwellings, but usually you'll find pottery if it's a dwelling. So, but I'll keep looking for pottery to make sure it's not. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to get down below. There's several rooms down there. So when we fly the drone, this ought to be an impressive sight. Here is another room. It's across here. And this is where that secondary wall starts. It continues all the way up the hill. And then you can see the outer wall that runs across. And over at those boulders is where we found that maze, which was really cool. Okay. That's pottery. This is all pottery right here. At this point, I'd like to thank all of you for joining me on my adventures and commenting and liking my videos. It really makes me feel great reading all the positive feedback and knowledgeable responses. Please, if you see something in the videos that I do not mention, leave it in the comments. I frequently miss things that I see when reviewing my video footage. As usual, I'd like to thank those channels who blazed the trail ahead of me, the POV channel, the Trek Planner, the Desert Drifter, and many others. Here I'm going to highlight in yellow the layout of this ruin. It may help you visualize what you've seen. If you do get out and visit any of these ancient sites, please remember to treat them with respect, and do not remove or damage anything. Carry out what you carry in, and try to leave no trace behind. Again, thank you to all my subscribers and fellow adventurers. Enjoy the rest of the adventure.